Welcome to the Wendy Sashimi Podcast, where I keep it raw and real. Season 4, Episode 3, Lessons at 36. If you're feeling behind in life, this episode is for you. If you're feeling like you need a change, but you're too scared to start over, this episode is for you. If you're just here to see my cute face yap, this episode is definitely for you. You can watch and listen to this episode on Spotify and YouTube, Wendy Sashimi at. Let's get in it. I'm in my last month of being 36 years old and thought it would be good to share some reflections with you. I turn 37 next month on September 1st. Virgo season, baby. Ayy. I'm not going to share 36 lessons I've learned, but I will share a few things I wish I knew in my 20s and even early 30s. Wow, wild to say that I'll be in my late 30s. A quick reflection, and I've shared this in the intro of my podcast because it was such a pivotal moment. I started this podcast when I was 35. And that's the same age as this bagel guy that I met when I was 22 years old, living in Korea, teaching English. I was at this bagel shop in Seoul, Seoul Station. And the bagel shop owner he's pretty attractive. He slipped me a little card that said, "Here's my number." And so I met him up and I was talking. I was like, "How old are you?" He's like 35. And I was like, "Whoa, that's really old." I'm like, "Do you have a wife and kids? Like, are you hiding something?" He was like, "No." But I remember in my mind at 22 years old, I thought 35 was so old. And I think even now, some who aren't in their 30s or older may think, "Oh, you have to have it all together by your 30s," which is totally not true. From my experience, the more life you've lived, the more you're clear on what you really want. At least for me, I think before I didn't really know, especially like becoming a young adult at 18, right after high school, and having to figure out your major, what you want to do for the rest of your life with this overpriced degree. I had no idea. I still don't want to go back to school, but I feel like I have a clear idea of more of what I want to do with my life. So here are a few things that I like to share with you. Number 1, don't waste time, energy, and money on chasing love or romance. If it's meant to be, it will find you. You don't have to chase what is running away from you. I felt like I was constantly chasing beautiful women and even some men back then because I wanted a girlfriend so bad to validate myself and my queerness. But then I realized that I'm whole on my own and I don't need anything to prove anything to anybody, especially my queerness. Now, I find fulfillment in my friendships and myself. I've lived by myself for a while and really enjoy my own company. And I wish that for you. Really learn how to enjoy your own company because sometimes, most of the times, you're all you got. Being single is not so bad. You don't need someone to complete you. Once again, you're whole on your own. 2, stop forcing connections. I wanted to be friends with everyone so bad for like most of my life. And I think that comes from, once again, validation and always feeling like people love me and people are always around me. Oh, I have so many friends. But then I realized in my 30s that your circles are going to get smaller and the people who are right for you will stay will come because as long as you're authentic to yourself, you'll attract the right people. That's what I've learned. And even like a year or two ago, I ignored my gut that certain people weren't good for me. It's just like some inkling of things they've done, or even if they've done nothing, but something in my gut told me that they were probably shady, fake people. I didn't listen and I kept like pushing it to hang out with these people. And they turned out to be fake as fuck. Like, it's not just my anecdote, it's actually several other people. We won't get into that. If you want to hear more, you can listen back on episode 18, Pretty and Petty. Ayy. Friendships look like effort, compassion, and fun. 3, focus on your health. Health is truly wealth. I've seen too many people around my age die. Granted, a lot of those cases were cancer, and sometimes you can't do anything. It is helpful to be healthy and fight various diseases if you can. Eat your vegetables, fruits, and daily food groups as best you can. Take 30-minute walks or even 15 if you're crunched on time. Stand at your desk during work. That's what I used to do 8 hours a day. Do what you can to keep moving your body. I wish I exercised more in my 20s, but I started at 30 during the pandemic and I noticed a huge shift in my energy. And feeling healthy feels really fucking good. 4, don't spend so much money on alcohol. I made a huge mistake with that. You'd be surprised. Like in my 20s, even early 30s, I was spending hundreds of dollars on alcohol. Once again, that ties into the people pleasing, wanting friends, buying everyone drinks because, hey, everybody, I'm the cool cat. Drinks on me. But I noticed like a lot of those friendships I don't even have now. So honestly, it was a waste. It's okay to have a few drinks here and there, get a nice buzz going, get drunk once in a while on your wedding day, whatever. But I wasted a lot of time being hungover, like days just gone. When I could have spent those days hanging out with my niece, my family, or just doing more things. It wasn't worth it. To be honest, I've recently minimized my drinking tremendously as I realized I have as much fun or even just a little buzz or sober without feeling like crap. I think with alcohol is to, get yourself a bit off the edge, but I do believe, at least for me in my experience, that it's a big confidence thing of how comfortable you are around other people in a event environment or whatever you're in with alcohol. And for me is being sober and not super wasted allows me to be more present in the moment. I know this is such a late 30s talk. Actually, I saw a study that more Gen Zers and younger people aren't drinking or doing drugs as much because they realize that it's expensive. It's not worth your health. People around my age, I've noticed with my friends and I, that even drinking one drink gives us a slight headache or a bit of remnants of being hungover. So to prevent that, one of my friends, Curtis, shout out to Curtis, got me on this thing called Z-Biotics. It's a pre-alcohol probiotic drink designed to break down acetaldehyde, a toxic byproduct of alcohol metabolism produced in the gut. Prevents intense hangovers. So don't overdrink your limit or it will not work at all. This isn't sponsored, but it should be. It's this little capsule thing. You can buy it off of Amazon or any other retail store. But this costs about $10 per vial. Or you can get a pack. I got a pack of 12 for like $100. Or you can buy like 100 of them for $400 or something. But yeah, this thing has been super helpful. I've used this a few times and a lot of my other friends do too. So super recommend that Z-Biotics. Once again, this isn't sponsored, but it should be. Number 6, have fun in any situation. Try to have as much fun as you can. This example is going to sound wild, but it just shows that life will happen to you, but try to have fun because life is not worth being sad all the time. I mean, yes, be sad when you need to be, grieve when you need to be, take that time for yourself. But maybe speaking for myself and some of my friends, we can't help but be our goofy, funny selves. Okay, what is the example? So, if you've been following me, you know that one of my best friends died of liver cancer last year. suddenly. So my friends and I flew from the Bay Area to Arizona at the hospital he was at. I flew back and forth for 2 weekends. So he was in the hospital for 2 weeks. But have fun. But when we weren't in the hospital for visiting hours, we'd go out to eat. We'd eat really good food. Oh my God. I didn't know Arizona had such good food. And in those moments, we laughed, we cried, but we had fun. I mean, yeah, the experience wasn't fun seeing one of your best friends die. Damn, grief be hitting. It'd be like, I guess this wasn't in one of my initial numbers of lessons, which is surprising, but whatever. It's my podcast, and only a few people actually watch this. But it's grief. I think as I've gotten older, I've seen more people die, and that is a reality check. I mean, granted, some people have seen death at an early age, but for me, I haven't really experienced death until, well, my grandma passed when I was in college, but like true death from someone you love, true death of someone that you love, you learn to live with grief. Feel all your feels, cry, listen to the songs, think of the memories, but they all live inside of you. Grief becomes a part of you as that person that you loved is will always be a part of you. At least for me, it's taught me to hug my loved ones more. 7. Who cares? The things you're scared of doing in fear of looking stupid is holding you back. In the grand scheme of things, no one really fucking cares what you're doing. People are too much in survival mode and concerned about their own lives. So do what you want to do. It's your life. Live it and live it authentically. Most of my 30s was surviving through the pandemic, life after the pandemic, seeing more of the world's atrocities, witnessing and feeling complicit in a genocide on Palestinians by Israel. The second term of the worst administration in the US, I've seen shit that I can't unsee. And I don't let it cripple me. Yes, I'll grieve. I'll feel all my feels, but I let it fuel me to do more good in the world. Or maybe the world sounds too overwhelming right now. Help out however you can in your communities, or even one-on-one with people. I notice that about 90% of the time when I smile at someone, they will smile back. That does something to both endorphins. It's science. My life looks very different than what I thought it would look like at 36, when I was envisioning it at 26 or even last year. I thought I would still be working at Google, my stable job, wife, and 3 kids. None of that happened, and I'm so glad. And if that's you, no offense. But for me, I think it worked out for me because at this time in my life, I needed to go through all of these things, quitting my job and doing things that truly fulfill me with my time. Yes, I have to figure out what that will be with money, but that'll take a bit of time. I value my freedom, and maybe that'll be in the cards for me later or never. That's fine. In the past year of being 36 years old, I vowed to be more honest with myself. I remember in my previous therapy sessions, shout out to Dr. B, I would tell my therapist that I was ready to settle down, ready to have a family, ready to be married. And Dr. B would say, Wendy, be honest with yourself. And from that moment, I would repeat that. Whenever I feel like I'm doing something to be performative or do something that doesn't quite align with who I really am, but I'm doing to please others, I would question myself or tell myself, I would question myself, Wendy, are you doing this for you? And then I would tell myself, Wendy, be honest with yourself. So I vowed in the past year to be more honest with myself. And I think I wasn't honest with myself for a long time because I lived the way I thought I should as a 30-something-year-old woman, being a good Asian daughter for my parents, family. I think it's beautiful that you see more women having children later in life or proud to not have children at all and not be judged by it. But yeah, people will judge, but really, more people don't give a fuck. People will have an opinion and be negative, but ultimately, you live the life the way you want. They don't pay your bills. Reflections on this past year of being 36. I used to think that 36 is old, but it's actually not. If we're fortunate, we'll live until like 80 ish. I still got a lot of life to live, even though my body hurts more. Just gotta do more maintenance and take more time to recover as long as you're taking care of yourself. 36 was a breakthrough in quitting my corporate tech job and living life more authentically to me. I'm super grateful for this past year and looking forward for my next year of life. Let's go, 37, baby. Thank you so much for listening. Follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share with anyone you think this episode will help. See you next week. Peace easies, Wendy Sashimi.